When you're scrolling through a sea of pool equipment, it's easy to get caught up in glossy photos and promises of never ever backwashing again. I've been there, ordered a salt chlorine system that looked perfect on the page, only to spend a weekend wrestling with a cramped, hard-to-reach cell that barely covered my pool's needs. That kind of disappointment is why I'm doing this deep dive before you hit add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Jandy PureLink cell kit is built for pools up to 40,000 gallons, which puts it squarely in the large residential bracket. If you have a pool that sits somewhere between 30,000 and 40,000 gallons, you're probably looking at a system that can keep up with the chlorine demand without constantly tweaking the output. The kit lets you mount the cell horizontally or vertically, which is a practical flexibility you don't always see on competing kits. That choice matters when you're dealing with an existing equipment closet that might be shallow, or a new build where you can plan the layout from scratch. Installation is the first real test of any pool component. The PureLink comes with all the necessary wiring and a set of clear instructions, but you still need a basic comfort level with electrical work or a willing electrician. The biggest hidden trade-off is the space the cell occupies. A horizontal mount spreads the cell out, which can be easier on the pump but takes more linear footage on the skimmer rack. A vertical mount, on the other hand, saves length but demands a little more vertical clearance. I've spoken with a few pool service techs who say that the vertical option often slips into tighter service panels, but you have to double-check that the inlet flow isn't restricted. That's a nuance you won't see on the product photo. Now, let's talk about everyday use. Once the cell is wired into the Jandy Aqua Pure control system, the pool essentially takes care of itself. You set the desired chlorine output, and the cell does the work, converting salt into chlorine through electrolysis. What I found most useful is that the system monitors salt levels and alerts you when you need to add more. No more guessing games with a test strip every week. For a busy homeowner who wants to spend more time in the water and less time troubleshooting, that automation is a genuine time saver. The practical strengths become clearer when you picture a typical summer season. Imagine you're hosting a weekend barbecue, kids are splashing, and a few stray leaves drift in. With a properly sized Jandy PureLink, the chlorine production ramps up automatically because the controller detects the drop in water quality. You don't have to sprint to the shop for a chlorine tablet. The system keeps the water clear and safe in real time. That reliability is reflected in the 4.6-star rating from 18 verified purchasers, a small sample, but it signals that most owners are happy with the day-to-day performance. There are, however, some practical weaknesses that show up once the honeymoon period ends. Salt cells, including this one, have a finite lifespan, typically around 3 to 5 years depending on water chemistry and maintenance habits. The PureLink kit comes with a 1-year manufacturer warranty, which covers defects but not normal wear. If your pool has hard water or you're prone to running the system at high output for long stretches, the cell plates can start to scale faster, meaning you'll need to clean them regularly with a mild acid solution. That cleaning step is easy enough, but it does add a maintenance ritual that some owners forget, leading to reduced chlorine output over time. Another nuance is the cost of the salt itself. While the PureLink eliminates the need for traditional chlorine, you still have to keep a salt reservoir on hand and replenish it as the water evaporates or you add fresh water. Most homeowners find the per-gallon cost comparable to buying chlorine tablets, but if you're on a tight budget, that ongoing expense can feel like a hidden price tag. It's not a deal-breaker, just something to factor into your total cost of ownership. So, who should buy the Jandy PureLink cell kit? If you have a sizable in-ground pool, think 30,000 to 40,000 gallons where you want a set-and-forget chlorine solution, this kit fits nicely. It's also a good match for anyone who already uses a Jandy control panel, because the integration is seamless and the app-based monitoring works out of the box. DIY-oriented homeowners who are comfortable with a bit of electrical work will appreciate the straightforward installation, especially if they have the space to choose the mount orientation that best suits their equipment closet. Who should skip it? Small above-ground pools or plunge pools under 15,000 gallons will likely be over-engineered for this cell, and you'd end up paying for capacity you never use. Also, if you're looking for a completely maintenance-free solution, the reality is that salt cells need periodic cleaning and you still have to keep an eye on salt levels. Those who prefer a completely set it and